The Moondrop Golden Ages at their suggested retail MSRP of $72 are the worst headphones I have ever used. Before I talk about why these are the worst headphones I've ever used, I'm going to start off with the highlight or the best feature of these headphones, and that's the planar magnetic driver and the sound quality, because these sound truly phenomenal with certain genres of music and certain EQs. For example, I think that these sound awesome with rock and roll, singer-songwriter, even some hip hop, depending upon the artist that you're listening to. There's a ton of clarity in the mids. The highs are bright, but they're not that shrill, and they're definitely not piercing. The bass, on the other hand, is kind of lacking. If you're looking for something to listen to EDM or electronic dance music, these just don't have the punch that you would want. Same thing with hip hop. Although the bass is good, there isn't much in the way of sub bass. And I find that these headphones are just really good at a couple genres of music, and they don't really fall apart with other genres of music. They just don't sound that great with other genres of music. They sound very average. The soundstage of them is nice. It's a decently sized soundstage. It doesn't feel really cramped, and I feel like all of the frequencies have plenty of kind of space to flex. I'm not an audiophile, but I have reviewed over almost 200 pairs of headphones at this point, 200 pairs of truly wireless headphones at this point. So I would say that I am an expert in the truly wireless headphone space, although I might not be an audiophile. I definitely know what I like and what I think many people would say sounds good. And these headphones do sound very good. They just don't sound phenomenal. They also are going to allow you to tweak some of the settings with EQs, but the EQs don't really change the overall characteristics of that planar magnetic driver. Another thing that I think is pretty good with this case is with these pair of headphones is the case actually. And that takes me into the second aspect, which is like the design and the build quality materials of these headphones. And that is, I would say, kind of average. It's okay, but it is definitely kind of average. The case does feel kind of hollow and cheap when you tap on it. The lid does stay open with a spring, and it is a smart lid, meaning that they begin to pair with your device when you open it. The indicator light on the front of these headphones is a bicolor indicator light, meaning you know when the case is below 20% and when it's above 20%. Nothing in between. There's a pair button on the back if you encounter any pairing issues with these headphones, and a USB-C port on the bottom. The aesthetic of the case is very much like a Sony Walkman. That's what they were really going for with this pair of headphones. And I think it looks cool. I kind of like the color choice. It's kind of stylish. There is an included silicone TPU case that comes in the box of these, and I highly suggest you use it because I don't know how well these would stand up to abuse without them. The actual design of the headphones themselves is kind of generic. I've seen a lot of headphones coming out of China that have this overall kind of oval, bubbly shape. It's fine. They fit in my ears. They're comfortable. I put the large ear tips on them. They stay in while I'm doing workouts, and these were my gym headphones for a couple of weeks. That said, the finishing on them is a little bit lacking. Like, you can definitely see the seams on the plastic where the headphones are assembled. The stem of them is a small stem, and it does have a cool little Walkman design on it. But that's it. They're kind of unremarkable, but they are definitely good quality headphones, and they feel totally fine in regards to build quality. Talking about some of the features of these headphones. Moondrop picked a type of ANC, I should say, that doesn't affect the sound signature. They wanted to give you guys the best build quality or the best sound quality possible. And it is a respectable strategy to take for a pair of what many would consider to be audiophile quality headphones. I think that the ANC is okay, although it's not very effective, and you do pay a pretty large penalty when it comes to battery life, and we'll talk about that when we get to the negative aspects of these headphones. Overall, they have ANC. It's average at best. They also have LDAC, and this is where, in my opinion, things begin to deteriorate. Many of you that watch my channel know that I am not a fan of LDAC at all. It is a very bloated, very large audio codec. In the past, it was the best option that we had for audiophiles that wanted to transmit a large amount of data, but I have had tons of connectivity and tons of reception issues, not only with my Google Pixel 8 Pro, but with my Samsung tablet, and audio packets just kind of being missed. And so they constantly feel like I'm getting stutters and interruptions in the songs when I'm using these. That's when I have it set to just 300 kbps, 300 bits per second. When you set these in developer settings to 900, they become unusable. It could be a Bluetooth thing, but trying to get the most out of LDAC with these is unacceptable. You just can't do that. And it's a bummer, especially when we have things like aptX lossless, aptX, adaptive aptX. LDAC would be the first thing about these that I think is a con. Some of you might have a dedicated Bluetooth audio transmitter so that you can turn LDAC up to the highest bitrate possible with them and listen to them at their full glory, I guess you could say, but I don't think that's going to be everyone. The next area where these things begin to fall apart is their app. And I saw Kenneth Tanaka, shout out Vids by Ken, Reviews by Ken, not sure what his handle is, but he does great content. And he was the first person to talk about how in a recent firmware update, they took LDAC away. It just, you no longer had LDAC with these headphones. Recently, there's been some app updates that do allow you to roll the firmware back. So these headphones apparently don't have LDAC if you use the newest firmware for them, which is really, really puzzling, especially because they were advertised with LDAC and a planar magnetic driver clearly for the audiophile audience. The next area that these really fall apart for me is battery life. When using them with ANC on at a medium to high volume, I'm getting between 3.5 to 4 hours of battery life per charge with these. And with the case, I'm getting like 12 hours of battery life total. So the drop off between using LDAC and ANC and not using LDAC and ANC is massive. AAC, no LDAC, you're looking at, I think, 6 to 7 hours of battery life. Using LDAC and ANC on these headphones, you're looking at 3.5 to 4 hours in my testing. That's my personal takeaway from these. Battery life on these is just completely unacceptable, especially at $72. Again, I might be biased, but I would consider myself an expert in the realm of truly wireless headphones. The next area that these headphones completely fall apart is the microphone. For the price point of these headphones, I think that Moondrop just shouldn't have included a mic. It's completely unusable. I will give you guys a demo right now. Now you're hearing me on the Moondrop Golden Ages 1979. This is with the most recent firmware update that takes away LDAC. It seems like this firmware update also has had a positive improvement to the microphone. Since I used the microphone last time when these were on LDAC, to keep in reference, this is a completely silent studio with some sound treatment. I'm going to go ahead and hit some background noise just at a moderate level for you guys right now. And right now, this is at my MacBook Pro, about a meter away. I have the volume to about 70%. We'll turn my MacBook Pro up right now. This would be kind of what I have to deal with outside, maybe even a little bit quieter than what I deal with outside. It's pretty odd that a firmware update that would take away features would improve the microphone quality, but that just kind of leads to the half-baked nature of these headphones. So microphone on these, terrible. Battery life, terrible. Codec that they use isn't even available if you update them to the newest version of the firmware, although now they allow you to roll the firmware back, which that's been an update that's very puzzling. The value proposition, though, for these headphones at the $70 mark is just a joke. Moondrop is supposed to be giving you guys like better, higher quality stuff at a reasonable price. But I think that this is really an example of how a company uses terms like LDAC, like planar magnetic drivers as marketing material, and then they just give you an inferior product with all of these high-end features, but the actual final product of them is just average at best. I've listened to dozens of pairs of IEMs, truly wireless headphones, over-ear headphones. And I understand that for some people that are looking for a pair of headphones to listen to singer-songwriter specific music, these might be a great option. But for everyone else, you should skip these. And if you really want them, I'll have links to where you can get them. These are just a hard pair of headphones for me to recommend. I'm not even going to touch on gaming mode. It's LDAC. There's a gaming mode. The audio prompts are, I just wouldn't get them.